Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Matthew, the 26th chapter. And it came to pass, when Yahweh Shai had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, Ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Yahushua by subtlety and kill him, because they knew they couldn't take him openly because of the people, so they tried to find a way to secretly get him. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Now when Yahushua was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. And when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? Why would you waste that expensive ointment? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. And when Yahushua understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. See, so even when I'm gone, you have the poor here. But what she's doing for me, I'm not always going to be with you. So she's taking a good opportunity here. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. See, so it was signifying, right, because that's when you read in the book of Luke, that's what they were doing, right? At least that's what they had planned to do, to apply the ointment to his body. But then the Sabbath came, so they made the ointment. By the time they were done with the spices and the ointment and all that, the Sabbath was in, so they had to wait till after the Sabbath. And then when they ran to the sepulchre, he was already risen. But the Lord is saying she did this to signify, right, his burial, how he would die and he would have to be raised. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman hath done be told for a memorial of her. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests and said unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. So he was looking, what's a good time? What's a good way? When and how can I betray Yahushua? That's crazy. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples of Yahushua, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepared for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The master saith, My time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Yahushua had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12, and as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth, as it is written of him. So he's going to suffer the things that is written for him to go through. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. So it had been better for you not to be born at all. Oh my gosh. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? What you mean, is it I? You know very well it's you. What kind of... Yo, Jake, man. He said unto him, Thou hast said. And as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and blessed it. And that's how you know it was a spirit that was on Judas, because you knew that he knew that you were going to betray him. You still did it. And as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, Take, eat. This is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Drink all of it, or drink ye all of it. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. Right, because it was through the blood of Yahushua that our sins would be covered. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. Also goes to show reincarnation, right? Because they were going to die in their lifetime. So how would he drink it with them in his king, in his Father's kingdom? And the kingdom is going to be on earth. So they would have to be back on the earth. And when he had sung an hymn, or when they had sung an hymn, they went out onto the Mount of Olives. Then saith Yahushua unto them, all ye shall be offended because of me this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. And when you go into that word offended, it also goes into to desert someone, right? It says here, to cause a person to begin to distrust, that's definition 2, to distrust and desert one whom he ought to trust and obey. And that they did that out of fear, or at least they would out of fear. But after I am risen, I will go before you into Galilee. Peter answered and said unto him, though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended. So they could all leave, but I'm gonna ride or die with you, Lord. Yahushua said unto him, verily I say unto thee, that this night, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. Peter said unto him, though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee. So even if I had to die with you, Lord, I will not deny you. Likewise also said all the disciples, which is interesting because then they ended up fleeing. But it had to be so. Then cometh Yahushua with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then saith he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here, and watch with me. And he went a little further, and fell on his face, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, as I will, or not as I will, but as thou wilt. So if there's a way, if there's another way, just, let it pass. But, if not, then your will be done. And he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, what? Could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away again the second time, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. So he accepted the fate. You know what, Lord? If this is indeed what I have to do, then you know what? It is what it is. And he came and found them asleep, for their eyes were heavy, because this is something he had to do alone. And he left them, and went again and prayed the 3rd time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples, and saith unto them, sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hand of sinners. And reading this in the NIV, it says, then he returned to the disciples and said unto them, are you still sleeping and resting? Look, the hour has come, and the Son of Man is delivered into the hand of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. And while he yet spake, as he was talking to them, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves, from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him had given them a sign, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast. So that's the sign. Whoever I kiss, grab him up quick. That's the one. And forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Yahushua said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priests and smote off his ear. So he was quick with it. Then said Yahushua unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. So no, we ain't doing that. Sheathe that sword. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? What you think, I can't fight back if I wanted to? I can pray for a legion of 12 legions of angels, and he could cook these people right here. But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be? We can't break the prophecies. It's written as such, so it has to happen. We have to fulfill it. In that same hour said Yahushua to the multitudes, Are ye come out against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you, teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. But all this was done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled, like he said. And they that laid hold on Yahushua led him away to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed him afar off onto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and the elders and I believe John was also there as well. It doesn't mention it here, but in the book of John it mentions it. And all the council sought false witness against Yahushua to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses. So when it says they found none, it means like in the NLT it says, but even though they found many who agreed to give false witnesses, they could not use anyone's testimony. It didn't make sense. It was a little too far out there. But finally 2 men came forward and said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and build it in 3 days. And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against thee? So did you actually say that? But Yahushua held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tellest whether thou be the anointed, the Son of God. Yahushua saith unto him, Thou hast said. Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. Right, because after this, he would be made, perfect. He would get all his glory, he would get all his power, and eventually he would come back again, right, in the clouds with his chariots, which also signified reincarnation, because then they would see him. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witness? Behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy. What think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. Then they did spit in his face and buffeted him. Others smote him with the palms of their hands, saying, Prophesy unto us, thou anointed. Who is he that smote thee, huh? Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou was with Yahushua of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, No, I know not what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Yahushua of Nazareth. Again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou art one of them, for thy speech bewrayeth thee. Your accent gave it away. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. And Peter remembered the words of Yahushua, which said unto him, Before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. Damn. After saying all that, you would die with the Lord than to deny him, and boom, you just did it. And that brings us to the end of the book of Matthew, the 26th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh. And until next time, Shalom.